So I'm Michael Palermiti. I lead the PM team for Outlook for iOS.
And I'm Tali Roth. I lead the PM team for Outlook for Android.
Cool. And we have our Twitter handles up here, so please tweet at us. We are highly engaged. We're on the interwebs every single day. We use Twitter and a lot of feedback inputs every day, and we'll talk about that later. But please, yeah, connect with us, please. Okay. Outlook for iOS is designed for users, built for the IT, for the enterprise. That's not just a motto. That's truly how we design and build the app. It's what the team thinks about every single day. We are user-driven, but we also recognize the importance of the enterprise and the IT customer. And so we've taken an authentic, truly authentic mobile-first design to both of our apps. They are native, built on the platforms for iOS and Android. Our design approaches are relevant to the platform. It's super important to our app that it feels like it's designed for the platform that it's running on. Both apps are completely built on top of the Microsoft Cloud, 100%. So that ensures the security and compliance that the demands of the enterprise today requires. Over the next, hour or so, we're gonna cover all 5 of these areas that we're heavily invested in, and you're gonna hear about all sorts of all the great work we're doing across Office 365. Tali in a second is gonna talk about security and the trifecta that goes into that. But I wanted to talk about one thing, and I wanted to really kind of hit it on the nose at the very beginning of this presentation. It's really kind of near and dear to what the team deals with, and that's really why Outlook over the native apps. We recognize we are the challenger. We are not on the device when you pull it out of the box. That's a pretty precarious position to be in. You know, the native apps come built in. They're on the home screen. They're pre-pinned to the tab, and we want to make sure everything we do is based on winning the user choice, winning the customer choice. That's you guys. Show of hands, how many people are actually using Outlook Mobile today? Wow.
Nice.
So for people who are watching, it was basically the whole room. I saw a few people who did not put their hands up, so hopefully by the end of today, if you're not, please download the app right now, and so we can get to 100% participation. Okay, there's 4 main areas that we believe and we strongly stand behind that are the 4 main reasons why you should choose Outlook Mobile over the native apps. Number 1, without a doubt, in today's world, is security. Again, we're built on the Microsoft Cloud, and Tali's going to talk more about this, but everything from conditional access to being able to control app settings and really have a deep integration with Intune and other providers is really a key asset that we really value, and we've done a lot of work, not only with features, but also on the cloud and the infrastructure to really move from off of third-party services onto the fully compliant Microsoft Cloud. The next one is Office 365 integration. I mean, we're Outlook, we're Office. You're not gonna find a more robust, more seamless, more integrated experience across all of the Office suite than in Outlook Mobile. You know, we realize that so much of collaboration, conversations, document sharing, link sharing, joining meetings, creating meetings, it all really starts in Outlook as a catalyst for that. And so we take those partnerships, and we're really excited, and we value our partners throughout the Microsoft ecosystem, and we're really proud of what we'll show here in a few minutes when we demo. The other key differentiation for Outlook is bringing Mail and Calendar together, not separate apps. You can't get the integration between Mail and Calendar unless they're one app. And we've really done a really phenomenal job, and hopefully you believe that as well, about bringing the two together. And this is one place where we believe, because of the close integration with the calendar service, being able to do things that are core user jobs, like scheduling a meeting and finding time for availability with someone else or a group of people from your phone, that's a pretty complex task. And I can stand before you, and I think, without a doubt, we have the best experience. And that's just one example of how I think the calendar experience is a truly differentiator for us. And then intelligence. You probably hear a lot about AI and intelligence. Outlook, I think, is one of the best Office 365 examples of how we are bringing so much of that, the best of Microsoft, the Microsoft Graph and Microsoft Intelligence, to over 100 million people every day. Everything, it starts in our focused inbox, the AI that drives the focused inbox to help you focus every day. It continues with Cortana and helping you get to where you need to be on time. And even things like Microsoft Search. powering our brand new experience that is at the core of our app experience and one of the core user jobs in Outlook. It's all powered by the intelligence and the graph that is that Microsoft provides. And there's one thing that's not on this slide that we hear all the time, and you'll see as we kind of go through the product, is the user experience. The user experience truly is a differentiator for us, and we believe it's a core feature that is a reason why people choose our product. Just last night I was talking to some customers, and we heard, I heard like they were like, it's you guys have come a long way, and we love this feature and that feature, but you know what the thing is? It's the UI. It feels really good. And they kind of struggled kind of describing what it was, and they kept using the word feel. And that's indicative of a really polished, really deeply designed experience. And we'll show you some of those small little pieces along the way of like how we really sweat the details.
Cool. Thanks, Michael. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the trifecta that is Outlook, Intune, and Active Directory, and that together makes our app uniquely secure. So again, going back to what Michael said, it really starts with the user experience, because I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but when there's a secure way to do something, but it's hard, it's complicated, it doesn't feel good, it's a pain, people are going to work around it. And your security is only as good as the experience that you're asking your customers to do, because if it's hard to do, they're going to send something to their personal account and do it from there. They're going to put it in Dropbox and do it from there. If we can make it seamless, they can stay within those secure confines the way they would like to and the way you would like them to. And so we work really hard to make sure that Outlook Mobile is an app that your users are going to pick and want to use every day. The next is with Intune, where you can get protection for all O365 apps. So as long as you're in the protected ecosystem, you can easily move files back and forth. We give you a really great combined experience there. And then finally, with Azure Active Directory, you end up with identity-based security that enables a ton of things. The most interesting from a user experience perspective of which is single sign-on. It means that I can use my single identity to sign on to all of the Outlook all of the Office properties, but all of the many other Microsoft properties, many third-party properties, and that means that I don't have to remember a bunch of passwords. I don't need to start writing them down on Post-it notes. I just have this great seamless experience. But you don't really need to hear about that from me and Michael. We'd like to bring up David Pearson here from Ameriprise Financial to talk about their experience and why they picked Outlook Mobile.
Woo.
Thank you, Tali. As Tali mentioned, my name is David Pearson. I am an infrastructure engineer with Ameriprise Financial. Ameriprise is a diversified financial services firm with lines of business in wealth and advice management, asset management, insurance and annuities, and auto and home insurance. We're headquarters in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we operate globally with offices in 20 countries. So today, Ameriprise has more than 10,000 wealth advisors working in every state in the U.S. We also have 20,000 employees, headquartered again in Minneapolis, but operating globally. And our entire workforce, wherever they are dependent upon our technology, increasingly on mobile technology, in order to do the work and be productive. And those users are enthusiastic about the technology, and they love to give us feedback about it. So a bit about Ameriprise's mobile estate and infrastructure. When I was brought on board in 2015, that infrastructure was static. It was on-prem. It was configured for disaster recovery and high availability across multiple data centers. It included virtual machine leases, and it was difficult to maintain. It was expensive to update, and it was increasingly hard to expand the capabilities of the platform. So when we began to look as an organization at what we wanted to do to deliver mobile, we first looked at what was the prevailing, direction at the time for mobile, and that was MDM. So that first criteria that I want to talk about, we had 3 criteria when we talked about what we wanted to deliver to our users. The first was expanding capabilities in the mobile space. So we know we want to deliver mail, contact, and calendar, but we also wanted to deliver a framework where we could deliver more than that. So the users could move beyond the mobile device being something they looked at, and if they had time, responded to an email, and maybe went back to their desk, and instead used it to actually be productive on the device on which they were viewing that email. So that was the first thing. We wanted to expand the capabilities and ensure we had good user adoption. The second was security. So at Ameriprise, we operate both in the insurance, so healthcare area, and in financial services, two of the most highly regulated organizations or verticals within the US and globally. So we have to maintain HIPAA, PII, we have to do FINRA and SEC regulations. We also have global organizations and things security-wise that we have to do. So we needed the solution to meet that security needs and requirements that we had. And third, we needed to have operational effectiveness. So we needed to realize some savings. I'm sure as anyone here that works in technology knows, we're a cost center, right? So we're not generating revenue. We needed to really prove that this solution could save the organization, both operationally in time and in resources. So let me talk a little bit first, about expanding those capabilities. Really, when Ameriprise was beginning our move to Office 365, we looked first at mobile device management with a mail proxy and with VPN configured. We knew we could deliver a lot of what we wanted to do with that, but we also knew that we were limited in that we wouldn't necessarily be able to deliver more. Now, in addition, in expanding those capabilities, our users gave us the feedback that, well, we don't want to do device management because we're not necessarily employees. So that opened up an opportunity at the time for Microsoft to talk to us about Outlook and Intune, which we moved forward with in deploying and piloting. So that moves us to keeping it secure. So really, I'll be honest, at the outset in 2015 and 2016, as we began our work, we knew that there were some difficulties in meeting some of those requirements. Microsoft was incredibly responsive to the feedback that we gave them around where there might be shortcomings in meeting our requirements and keeping us in compliance. It's part of our brand at Ameriprise, security and compliance and privacy. So it was very important. And we found within Microsoft, both the Outlook team and the EMS team, providing frequent, agile updates to the platform in order to meet our requirements. And it made us confident in moving forward when we decided to deploy. And then finally, working towards operational effectiveness and improving our economies for operations. Not only, we thought we had gathered all of the information we needed and made all of the plans saying, we're going to be able to retire VMs, we're going to reclaim the time for users doing maintenance, and we'll be able to improve the effectiveness of those folks that are the first line employees supporting our mobile users. What we didn't expect, we had all of that planned out and we thought, terrific. What we found once we were fully deployed, what we were excited to find was that we were able to operationalize it even further and realize even more efficiencies and better support through the in-app support in Outlook and then by extension from the Office apps. So our users no longer had to call us to play telephone between us and the vendor, Microsoft, to relay their enhancement requests or give feedback or figure out how to do something in the app. They now had the opportunity in the app itself to ask a question, get an answer, and move ahead, which was terrific. And really, and Michael touched on this, one of the biggest pieces of feedback we received was the interface. So users didn't have to reorient themselves to this interface. They were familiar with it from their desktop, they were from their laptop. This was an incredible opportunity for users to use something, pick it up, use it right away, not have to reorient themselves in space, and to be able to do their work quickly. So with that, I will pass it back to Michael. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it. But if you have any questions, feel free to follow me afterwards.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David.
All right, so you have heard me and Michael and now David talk about why Outlook for iOS and Android has the best experience around documents, around security, around intelligence, and yes, these are marketing slides that our marketing team made us add. We love you guys. They're in the front row. Go say hi afterwards. But we really do believe that, and as a team, that's something that we strive for. So, enough about talking about the product. We're going to take some time. Michael's going to talk about how we build the product. I'm going to add a little bit to that. And then we're going to spend the rest of the time doing a demo where we show you features that are in Outlook Mobile today, features that are coming soon, and then we'll give you a sneak peek of some screenshots of features that are coming up in the near future. So back to you.
Thank you. First, trivia question. How long is our average user session? And by session, we mean someone picks up their phone and uses our app and then puts it down or moves on. What do you think? 2 minutes? 20 seconds? 2 seconds? On average, 22 seconds. But that's dozens, maybe hundreds of times a day. But that context is super, super key. This is a different world than a desktop, right? I mean, it's kind of like no duh, but like that speaks to the usage profile on a mobile phone. It's probably not unique to our app, although we are not building a social media app. We don't want to dominate your time. We want you to get in, get out, and move on and get back to the meetings that you need to be or life. But the average 22 seconds, that's what we deal with. And so when we think about designing product, and we think about designing features, that's a core piece of information for us as we think about the design. So we wanted to take a little bit of a different approach, spend a few minutes talking about how we think about product and how we build product. To kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and give you a little bit of a kind of insider behind the scenes. This team, we start with the why. And if you think about it, the Microsoft why, our CEO stands up and has repeated this many, many times, right? To empower every single person on the planet to achieve more. That is the Microsoft why. And we believe strongly that Outlook is a core pillar to that. And that of course, drives the entire business forward. But locally within the team, when we think about user jobs and we think about things that people are asking us, we think about, we try to think about the why. Why are you asking us for this feature? Why? What context are you in? What are you going to have? Can you do that in 22 seconds? Those kind of whys are what really are a fundamental piece of the design process that we go through. We are user-driven, number one. A lot of teams, a lot of companies talk about we're data-driven. It's all the buzz. It's AI and it's data-driven. Those are the two things you hear about all the time. We object. We are user-driven first. We use data to inform. Again, back to we have to win the choice of all of you. We have to win the choice of users. If we're data-driven, we might miss the forest and the trees. And so that's the thing. We look at app reviews every single day. I guarantee you, if you submit an app review in the App Store, myself or someone on our team will see it, and we will talk about it. We look at every one of them. Again, we look at social media. We look at user voice, and of course, all the support tickets come through our team. We are user-focused, and I can't emphasize, and it's hard to even articulate how much of this a core culture of the team this is. We also recognize that fundamentals come first. With a mission-critical app like Outlook, where it's helping you manage your time, your communications, collaboration, we have to earn the right before we can do new features. In fact, I was talking to another customer a couple days ago at the beginning of the conference, and they gave me their feedback, and I love feedback. We love feedback, and I asked them, I said, okay, I got it, noted. What is your wish? If I gave you a wish, the coolest feature, what would you like? He was like, it just works. Just keep doing that. You guys are doing great, but make sure it just works. And so every single week, you may know this, David touched on this, we ship very often, but every single week, the first things that we actually allocate engineering resources to are fixing issues to make sure that the product just works. It's super, super important to us, and we put our money where our mouth is there. Lastly, this is a core part of a mobile product team like ours. We scope features. The screen size cultivates creativity. By scoping features and distilling it down to the why of what users are asking about really forces us and challenges us, and it's a lot of fun to take those grandiose things of hey, I need to do this complex thing that I can do on my desktop. I need to do it on my phone in 22 seconds. Cool, challenge accepted. But we also scope. We scope work, and we then iterate, and we ship often. And we ship really often internally. Microsoft employees, if you're in the crowd, you will know you get updates all the time, even more so than our public app store and Play Store builds. This is a core part of how we keep the product not only just working and being able to react very quickly to bugs, but it's also how we iterate and improve the experience. So I want to run through a quick example here of this, just to kind of play this out. So one of those core asks about a year ago was, hey, we need to be able to schedule, like this is a core, if you're a time management app and I need to schedule a meeting with someone, I need to be able to find when they're available. And so we decided to do a feature called Scheduling Assistant. Well, you can do a lot when you're scheduling a meeting on a large screen. In the Windows app or the Mac app or the web app, like there's a lot of things you can do when you're creating a meeting. But we really got it down to the core job, which was finding availability with a fingertip. And in fact, we also use the Scheduling Assistant, the calendaring service technology to actually suggest times. And so, in fact, Tali will demo this, how elegant and smooth this experience is and how it provides live feedback to you when you're looking for time. But another core piece of how we build product is we ship on one platform, and that's by design. We ship on one platform because we want to put something out there, get feedback as quickly as possible, iterate, perfect it, and then we fast follow with the other app. And so in this case, late last year, we shipped on iOS first. We put out what I would call the V1 of the Scheduling Assistant. We got some feedback, and so then the Android team spun up and quickly then took the feedback. While we were iterating in iOS, they then took the feedback and integrated it into the first version that went into Android, and then the Android shipped. And in fact, now the Android version actually took the feedback and went a little bit further, and so now we're fast following with iOS. And so while we absolutely have the goal of feature parity across both apps, and we know that can be sometimes of a support challenge if an Android user has a feature that an iOS user doesn't, or vice versa. But this is a core part of how we actually sequence the feature development, and we really do try to fast follow as quickly as possible. And then lastly, something that we've learned across all of Outlook is that a mobile-first design doesn't mean just mobile only. And so in the case of Scheduling Assistant, and a few other features you'll see in a few minutes, we as an org have stepped back and be like, what? Oh, interesting. We could actually take the design philosophy or the design approach and actually make the Windows experience or the Mac experience or the web experience a little bit simpler. And so you'll see and kind of hear as you talk to more people in Outlook, like that kind of approach. And we bounce ideas off of all the endpoints. But this is a really important one as well. But again, it comes back to the small screen. That constraint really kind of forces some really interesting creativity. And so that's a core part of how we approach product.
Cool. So we're not just building any product. We're building Outlook. And with great power comes great responsibility. When you're building Outlook, it comes with a lot of expectations and a lot of assumptions about how it's going to work and how great it's going to be. I think many of you probably know that Outlook Mobile started out as part of an acquisition. We acquired a company called Acompli, and they had built a great mail and calendaring app, and we added a few features, relaunched it as Outlook back in late 2015. Well, that app actually was built as a service-backed app, and that service ran in AWS. And I was here at Ignite 3 years ago, I think it was early 2016, and it was a little bit painful because we heard from all of you that AWS was clearly not an acceptable place for your data to flow through. And so we spent the next year and a half taking that service and rewriting it, moving it so that it would run in Azure. And that's where our service lives today. Actually, earlier this year, we shipped another version of our service that's running in the government cloud so that we have a compliant FedRAMP certified solution there. But the main goal of it was to make sure that all of our data was staying within the Microsoft ecosystem. However, starting to roll out next month, we will be rolling out a brand new architecture for Outlook Mobile. And that architecture is based on the HIX service and the HIX sync and storage stack, which was actually developed for the Universal app. So I had the privilege of working on the Universal app back when we were first starting. And one of our goals was, rather than taking any of the existing off-the-shelf pieces for sync and storage, we designed our own from scratch. And we designed them to be optimized for mail-related data. So for example, the storage layer, it's optimized for reads because it turns out you read a lot more mail than you write. The sync layer is really optimized for funky networks. I don't know if any of you take flights or travel as much as we do. Our team is dispersed around the world, but I have found that my go-to Outlook version right now on the plane in the weird go-go Wi-Fi is the Universal app, and we will be bringing that same great storage and sync technology to Outlook Mobile as well as to Outlook for Mac. So starting next month, we'll be removing our middle tier service and delivering a HICS-based solution. This solution not only will let us support things like sovereign clouds and very highly restrictive government environments, but it also enables a number of additional features that we haven't been able to build today because of our reliance on REST. And so we look forward to starting this rollout next month and continuing it for the next couple of quarters probably before it's all the way through. But it's not enough to just be compliant, right? Outlook demands more of us. We know that while it's great that we ship every week and that there's always new features and exciting new things for you guys to try, there's also an expectation that you'll know what's coming. And that's something that we've heard loud and clear. And so we've been doing a lot over the last year in particular to make sure that the Outlook roadmap is always up to date. If you go to the office.com, I don't know, Eugenia will tell us what the site is. We make sure that what's new has accurate information so you can actually take a look at what's there. And we've really been doing that, especially over the last couple of months. So if you looked before and it wasn't telling you much, try again. And then finally, we listen to you guys, and we make sure that as you're talking to your TAMs or your Microsoft contacts, that they have the right information to share with you so that they can let you know about what's coming in our roadmap. In addition, we also think about mobile-first reimagining of Outlook features. So this is something Michael touched on a little bit, but one thing that happens is we get a lot of folks coming to us and saying, hey, this is available in Outlook Desktop and I want XYZ feature. Our job is not to take Outlook Desktop and shrink it down to mobile. That wouldn't be earning the Outlook brand. But we need to make sure that we think about what things you're actually doing on the go, and we bring those to the mobile app in a thoughtful, reimagined way. And the search experience that I'm showing here and that Michael's going to talk through is one of those examples of where we actually have taken the needs of someone that we hear from the big Outlook app, and we've actually brought them to mobile in a unique way that's optimized for mobile, and that hopefully we can bring back to desktop at some point too. And then finally, being part of Outlook means having rich integration with Microsoft apps and partners. We are so lucky to have hundreds of engineers across Cortana, across OneDrive, across O365, and many, many, many more teams actually working every day to bring features to Outlook Mobile that are the right integrations at the right time. And we'll show you a few of those in our demo as well.
Speaking of demo, go ahead and switch over.
6.
Cool. How many iOS users do we have in the room? Okay. How many Android users? I think it was like...
I'm pretty sure at one.
It's like 2/3 iOS. Cool. So you guys are going to be really excited, I hope. Before I get started, I just want to set the context. I touched a little bit on this, but there's a couple of core design elements that we really think through that really emphasize the Outlook brand. Number one is around focus. Of course, our inbox is called Focus Inbox, but really from a principle level, we want to make sure that the experience across all the experiences helps you focus on what you need to do. When you're focused, you're able to get your work done quickly and move on. The other one is around providing context. And so throughout the demo, you'll see elements of like providing you context, like at a glance. So if I look at my inbox, there's a lot of context that's being provided here. I have a meeting invite, I have quick actions, but I also, you can tell, by the way, I'm Jordan Miller in this demo. I've been mentioned here in a meeting, or in a mail. I've got a thread, or a conversation draft that I have started, but that is synced between my endpoints that I can finish on the go. And I have things like flagged and other elements that are context. And you'll see in the calendar, we provide context. Again, it's all about that at a glance, on the go. And then, of course, simplicity. You can't have a great mobile-first experience without simplicity. Now, given that we've got a lot of iOS users in here, how many would you like to see something we haven't shown before?
They don't seem really excited,
No,
Michael.
I'm gonna do the demo in the old
yeah,
app.
Yeah, that sounds like a
okay,
good
I'm
plan.
gonna stick to the old app. Okay, I'll try it again. How many people want to see something they haven't seen before? Cool. So the team has been working on really bringing the experience forward. And we want, again, from a native iOS app perspective, there are elements in the iOS platform that are showcased in other apps, and we wanted to, to emphasize that. But we also wanted to do it in an elegant way that brings the design forward, so you feel at home in Outlook Mobile. And so today, for the first time, you're going to see that experience. I will tell you, this is the dev app. So I am like living dangerously right now.
Yeah, our team is not very happy with us.
Microsoft employees don't even have this. So you guys are getting an inside view of this. So please, don't tweet about it. No, really do. Here you go. So here's the brand new experience that's coming to you very soon. You'll see it's got a pop of color, which is true. It's the same color across the Outlook brand. And this is actually based on feedback we've gotten from users of like, your app today is a lot of white. And like sometimes I get like a lot of apps on iOS are white. And so we're bringing that color that you have found familiar in other apps, other Outlook endpoints that all have that Outlook blue that just looks so good on me. The other thing, this is not just a UI refresh. We've actually taken an opportunity to fix some core things like tap targets. So focused inbox and other is a much larger kind of pill that you can kind of go back and forth. We've taken the opportunity to fix the filtering experience. So now when I filter on attachments, it's much clearer now that you have a filter on. We've gotten some feedback, usability feedback, that people are like, they put a filter on and then forgot, and then in the old experience, it kind of blended into the UI a little bit, and so we've done a little bit of visual updating here. We've done some other things too, like you can now see the Outlook, the Office 365 logo there. So we're starting to show a little more account differentiation. So if I now switch to my Gmail account, it's now there. So and that was another piece of feedback we got was I sometimes accidentally like reply to a mail from my personal account or vice versa. We're doing more now to differentiate the account that you're in. And then we've done some other things that are really kind of nice enhancements. This goes down back to the deep design detail. So as I scroll, that large typography, the header, kind of fades a little bit and gets smaller. The other thing you'll see if I had a rich piece of content like something that's bold in color, the tab bar down there where our three buttons, the email, search, and calendar, that's actually got a bit of translucent effect to it. So you'll see kind of color kind of fade behind it. It's just to kind of give it a little more of a light and airy feel to it. And so this is, again, work in progress. You're seeing the beginnings. We have some other things that are planned that are going to bring this even forward more. But I want to give you a really quick look because, again, back to your point about communicating and letting you know things that are coming. This is something that we're working hard to bring to all of our users very soon. And so look for, we'll probably later this year, we'll start rolling this out. So I want to focus on the inbox first, and I want to come back to the context. And one of the things that is really impressive is the ability to bring that calendaring experience to the inbox without even having to go to the calendar to reserve or to accept or decline or tentative a meeting. I can do that right from the inbox. I don't even have to even open the invite. I can tap this RSVP button at the top here. I'm going to look at the first item. And already, before I even tap on it, I see it says no conflict. So I've already got a bit of context that, okay, cool, like I'm gonna check it out and I don't have any conflict. Now you've all hopefully have seen in the latest versions of the iOS app that we introduced a brand new RSVP experience that not only allows you to accept and decline, but also allows you to drop a note back to the inviter or the meeting organizer. We've gone one step further. We've actually now are including a mini calendar experience. So not only can I see what's before and after, I have more context on the go because a meeting doesn't have conflict for that time spot doesn't mean that I may not be able to make the meeting. Maybe there's travel involved, et cetera. And so this is super helpful for me who's got a super jammed calendar. I can quickly kind of make decisions on the go, and I'll just go ahead and accept this meeting. And feel free if you like a feature. Yes.
Right?
Okay, the next one So here, Adam is asking to grab lunch. So like this happens all the time, right? To all of us. Like, hey, you want to go grab lunch or grab drinks or dinner or whatever. And this is a feature that we hear anecdotally from users that when they get this on their laptop, when they get one of these mails, they literally pick up their phone because of this feature. And so that feature is the one where I can send my availability. And so this is the kind of mail where we could, Adam and I could kind of get in this like ping pong email of like, hey, are you available this time? And then he replies back an hour later, no, how about this time? And the thing I should point out is he sent me an email from someone outside my tenant, so he doesn't have access to my free busy. So he has to like kind of ask me. So we could go back and forth and like play this game of again, of ping pong. Or I can just tap reply, and I can tap on the calendar icon there. Real quick, do you see that new yellow bar there? Yes, yes. Yes, so we've heard this loud and clear. If you are responding or you're adding someone who is outside of your organization, we want to let the user know very clearly, hey, FYI, you're emailing someone outside your organization. Okay, back to send availability. So I'm going to tap on the calendar icon there, and what this does is this brings up my calendar, a view of my calendar. And so he's asking for lunch. So I can then quickly kind of pick a couple of slots. I can even change days. I can find a day in the future. And then I'm going to hit OK. And it creates this really simple but effective and clean mail that I can now send to him that on his end, when he gets the message, if he has Outlook, he can tap on one of these links in the mail on his side, and he'll get that action sheet that one of the options will be create event. So then he can decide what works for him. I've already sent him my availability, so he'll pick the time that works for him and then send me an invite. And so we avoided that dreaded back and forth wasting time. Yes. Okay, the next one is really, first of all, before I even go into the conversation, I can tell without even touching the screen that I've been mentioned somewhere in this mail. And so the preview text will actually highlight, depending on wherever I've been mentioned, that will show me the preview, because that's most important to me, right? I mean, maybe someone's already replied, or a bunch of people have already replied to the mail, and if we didn't show you the preview, that would potentially get lost. And so we show that information to you right in the preview text. And so if I tap on into the conversation, this is something that we shipped actually last year, and we've been iterating on it, taking feedback. We've had a lot of feedback, great feedback, so thank you on this. On a modern device like on a phone, being able to quickly kind of catch up on a thread, a conversation, and see it kind of broken out in this card-style experience really helps clarify who's saying what when. And I can see where I've been mentioned. I can quickly reply, and I'm going to reply just with some emojis because I like emojis. So I can quickly reply. You'll see the sending feedback. This is brand new. This is part of our quick response experience, so it quickly is sending. But I'm going to go back up to one of these other messages, something we have heard loud and clear from people who like flagging or use red, mark items as unread or red. How many people use flags or use, oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
all right.
Okay.
Hello, fellow triagers.
Yes, you guys are inbox masters. So if I tap on the overflow menu here, the three dots there on Alan's mail, I now get a couple new options. So I can mark his message, only his message, as unread. I can also flag his message. So now, on my other endpoints, I will see the entire conversation, but only his mail will be flagged. And so I can go back and follow up with him if I need to. That's brand new, and that's going to be rolling out very soon as well. Yes, yes. So I want to highlight one of the security features that Tali mentioned, or briefly referred to. I'm going to try and copy this super sensitive email to something outside the boundary of Office 365 into my native Notes app. So I'm a user. I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm not trying to do anything malicious. The reality is most users, when data leaks, they're not trying to do something malicious. They're trying to use the tool, as Tali mentioned, the tool that they're used to. And so in this case, if I'm a Notes user and I'm trying to make a note of something that someone sent an email because I'm going to use this third-party app, and I go ahead and try to paste that, well, because my org is protected and now the policy is applied, I'm no longer able to implicitly or explicitly leak this data. And so I'm protected. Okay, I'm going to go back to my inbox. And then my next favorite feature is this. Well, first of all, Kimberly is asking me about the 2020 roadmap. I can't even think about 2019, let alone 2020 yet. So there's this really cool feature. If I swipe to the right, by the way, we have redesigned the swipe experience in iOS, and now there's haptic feedback. There's more color for more visual indication. We've also we've improved the swipe experience, the swipe customization. So if you go into settings, you can now customize even more of the settings that you can have. So if you don't like those 2 swipe actions, there's a bunch of others that you can add there if you want. But I'm gonna go ahead and swipe to the right and schedule her meeting. And you can call this a snooze feature. But I'm gonna, she's asking me about 2020 roadmap. You know what? I'm just gonna snooze that to next week. And what this does is her mail then will go away. It's supposed to. Okay, this is the demo gods coming in. So let's pretend, I'm gonna scroll off. Actually, it went away, there it goes. Her mail is then put into a scheduled folder out of view of the inbox, and it is re-delivered to my inbox at the top of the inbox a week from now, or whatever date you choose. And so it allows you another effective way to I just don't wanna deal with this right now. I'll schedule it for later with a swipe. And so that's a really popular feature, and it's one of our, yes. Okay, so Hannah is asking, how's the demo going? Are you really at Ignite? Photo or it didn't happen? We know we've had the ability to take a photo in the app forever. What we haven't had is the ability to capture documents and whiteboards and photos. And so through a really awesome partnership with the Office Lens team, we have now fully integrated the Office Lens experience into Outlook Mobile. And so right within the email experience, I don't have a document, I'm not gonna shoot a document, but what I'd like to do is actually take a photo of the crowd and just prove. So are you guys excited? Yes. Yes, there, I'll get one here. Okay, now, in the latest version of the Office Lens SDK, I can go one step further. And this is true if I am taking a picture of a document or a whiteboard. I can now use the doodle experience. And I'm just gonna tap on that top right icon. And now I can pick different things. So if I'm taking a picture of a whiteboard and I wanna call something out, I can say like, oh yeah, that person's really happy. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and hit done, yes. And that automatically gets inserted into my photo. And so now I'm ready to send this back to Hannah. So there you go with Office Lens integrated into Outlook Mobile. It's already in Android.
It is.
And this is a great example where we shipped an Android first and we're fast following with iOS. And you've got a little sneak peek at a new Office Lens feature.
Just wait.
All right, last inbox demo. There's nothing more gratifying than when someone cancels a meeting and I get time back. We wanted to make that so flippin' fast to just get that thing off your calendar and out of your inbox. So we added a remove button to the inbox. And so with one gratifying tap, it's gone.
Time back.
And I get my time back. Okay. So I didn't mention this, but one of the core elements, we made this change last summer for both apps, was really reducing the number of options at the bottom of the app from 5 to 3. And that's the mail, search, and calendar buttons. And that to us was really fundamental to highlight the Outlook mobile experience and frankly the Outlook experience, which is really around 3 core user jobs: mail, calendar, and search. Like search is a core job that we all use to find mail and other information within the Outlook experience. So we want to highlight the fact that our app experience and the foundation of our app, quite literally from a UI perspective, represents those three workloads. So the other thing that we did was we reimagined the search experience. There's one, everyone has, today we've all been trained. When you see the search icon, you're like, okay, search icon, search box, search icon, search box. I got it. Okay, cool. Of course, we needed to meet that expectation. But we thought we could go further, and we wanted, again, in that context of like, I've got 20-some seconds to find something, what are those core things I can find at a glance? And using the Microsoft AI to bring information to you in a more proactive way. And so we reimagined that to the brand new search experience. And you'll see it's got the brand new, the blue header, and it's got the typography, and we're doing some other subtle things to make it really feel like a great iOS app. But what you can see here is, of course, at the top is the search box. That's what you expect. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's at the top, it's hard to touch. Well, pro tip, if you double tap the search icon, you immediately get focus into the search box and I can quickly type. So I don't have to reach up and tap into the focus. The other thing is, more than 50% of searches across Outlook, this is not mobile specific, are people. And if you think about that, I mean, it's a people-centric app. People are sending you things, you're sending people things, people are sharing links with you, or sharing documents. More often than times, I mean, I always search, most of my searches are Tale.
Yep.
Because we collaborate all the time. And so the top thing we wanted to emphasize was people, and that's front and center of this experience. But not only that, this list of people is based on the Microsoft Graph. This is like, I didn't do anything. This just populated here based on who I work with, who I communicate with. And so this information is, again, reducing typing, it's reducing tapping. The top people I work with now are here, and I can tap on that first person. In this case, it's Christy. I immediately get a search experience of all the mails that I've been back and forth with Christy. And I can tap that toggle there to reduce it, further reduce it to just attachments. Again, people like email is the way you share documents. So quickly being able to get to attachments is key to this experience. But I can also tap on her persona card and see all the information about Christine in this case. And of course, when you tap on someone, you expect to see their contact information, right? I should be able to see, her email address, her phone number, et cetera. But if I scroll down this persona card, I can see who she reports to. I can see organization information. And I don't know about you, but I use this feature all the time. In fact, no, I'm not lying. I used this feature this morning in my real mailbox. I was having a conversation with some people. We were trying to get a contact over in the Cortana org, and I knew the PM, but I didn't remember his engineer. And so I literally used the feature called Works With. And so at the top here, this is the person's hierarchy, and so who they report to, their management structure. If she had directs, it would show up. But this Works With information, this is using, again, the Microsoft search and the graph to populate interesting connections with this person that you may have. And so this morning, I was able to look up this person that I knew, and then I used the Work With to find, and sure enough, like number 2 or 3 on the list was his engineering manager, and I was able to loop that person into the conversation, and it's super, super helpful. The other thing is, if I'm looking at someone, then I may recognize this person. I'm like, I think I worked with this person a few years ago. Sure enough, with the power of the largest professional social graph, LinkedIn, now natively integrated into Outlook, I can see everyone's full LinkedIn profile right within Outlook. And I can look at, in this case, Miriam's. I can see her full profile. If I tap see full profile, it'll take me to the LinkedIn app, so you can go there and do everything there. But if I haven't connected with her, I can also just connect right here. And right from within Outlook, she's now been sent a LinkedIn invite. And so now we've now got a connection there that's even stronger than before.
That one deserves a clap, right? And that card is not yet on Android, but it is in progress right now, and we're hoping to get that same new card experience into Android before the end of the year.
I'm going to move on to the next piece that I'm really excited about, and this is around the upcoming piece. This is a great example of anticipating the information you need. And so within a few days of having something like an open table reservation or a flight like I have tomorrow back to Seattle, this information and using the power of Microsoft AI, these are reservations that I got in email. And I could go use search and I could type in Alaska or something, or I could go look at my calendar and kind of browse and try to find an event. But this content is brought to me in this really dynamic information card, simplified from the entire mail. And I'll tap on this. This is an example of a reservation. And you can see the mail. That's not super user-friendly on a mobile device. It's got a lot of information, but it's just not super friendly. But what we've done is extracted the content intelligently out of the mail to produce these cards. And we've also got quick actions you can take on them, including check-in. And so when it's time to check in right from Outlook, I will get a reminder that says, hey, it's time to check in. I can check in. It'll take me to the provider's either website or app, depending if you have the app installed. So that's super, super helpful. The last thing is around files. And again, people and files are core to the Outlook experience. And this is one where today, I would call this our initial experience. We are working very closely to the OneDrive and SharePoint team to really take the files section here to the next level. And I'm excited about that coming soon. We don't have anything to demo today, but trust me, it's going to be awesome. But this is a really quick way right now of the files that are in your inbox to get to those attachments. So you don't have to search your inbox. You can just quickly come to the search experience and get to the files that are in your inbox. And then one last thing I want to talk about is about the new account switching experience. Another pro tip, by the way, you don't have to tap at the top there, you don't have to tap the account or inbox. You can just swipe from the left side of the screen anywhere and just pull up your account switcher. So it's super ergonomic and helps you switch accounts very quickly. But I want to point out a new experience that we're starting to roll out, which is around favorites. We've gotten a lot of feedback, especially from a lot of you probably who came from the Mail app in iOS, and they had a feature called the VIP, where you can select people that are, people that you are very important to you, that you want to be able to quickly get to their mail, but also get notifications when only that person sends you an email. So turn off notifications for everyone else. We are bringing that to Outlook, and it'll start to roll out very soon. And in fact, you've probably already seen in the latest Outlook, the public builds, we allow you to favorite folders and groups. And so people are the next thing coming. And so you'll see here in this experience, I've already favorited Christine. But if I tap on the pencil, part of the experience that we're going to ship soon is I can also edit my favorites. And so this is a place where in one place I can go and search for folders, groups, and people. I can favorite them on their persona cards in the folder. If I'm in a folder, I can favorite there. But I can also just do it in one spot. And the other cool thing is, if I just tap and hold Christine, I can just move her with no effort anywhere I want to, if I want to have her right below my inbox. And now I can just hit OK. And now she's at the top of my list. This favorites list will sync across all of my endpoints. And so if I'm in Outlook for Web, for example, and I'm looking at my favorites panel, this will be reflective of that as well. So that's a full Outlook experience across the service and apps. Thank you. Take it over.
All right, well, you've seen a lot of iOS. I think it's time to show off a little bit of Android. What do you guys think? All right. So for Android, I'm going to take a step back, because Android actually provides us some things that iOS doesn't, like the ability to build really awesome widgets. And so what we've decided to do, or recently shipped, is a brand new calendar widget that you can add. You can see it right here. It's got a lot of things that are on it, but the most important is it tells you exactly when your next meeting is. Mine's in 7 minutes. And it tells you where it's going to be. And really, what more do you need from a calendar widget? I have personally found that I have this calendar widget on my home screen, and I actually don't launch the app as much, because all the information I need in terms of my normal crazy meeting schedule is right there and available. We also, though, added a one-by-one widget, and you can see it down at the bottom where it's marked calendar. That is just a quick access to my calendar if I really just love getting to calendar really quickly. So I can do that, and regardless of what state the app is in, it will make me authenticate because I've got some policies here. It'll bring me right to the app and right to my calendar. We are also in progress on a new version of the mail widget, so it'll match and also have a bunch of the same similar type functionality as you're seeing in calendar. Okay, but here I am on calendar, and calendar, of course, is the heart of time management, and all the things that Michael mentioned about the inbox and how we think about what do you need to know at a glance and what can we do to help you focus and give context is right here in the calendar view as well. So this is the agenda view, and as you can see in my agenda view, I've got all the information I need. I've got these little icons that kind of tell me this is a coffee meeting, this is a sync up. I've got the information about who's going to be at all these meetings and, of course, where they are. Now, this agenda view might not be for everybody, so of course we do provide your day view, which is the one that I tend to live in, and rolling out, hopefully next week, is our new month view.
Nice.
So this is a brand new experience, really geared for folks who have fewer meetings than I do, to be able to actually look at their month and see what's going on. And pro tip here, if you swipe down to a time like a few months ahead and you want to go back, you just hit the calendar icon, and it'll take you right back to today. And
this is in work in iOS right now. So again, perfect example of Android has shipped it. We've gotten a ton of feedback from users and even Microsoft dog fooders.
Yep.
And now we're starting to fast follow iOS.
Yeah, one example is we've just been doing some accessibility testing on it and found some issues with colors and making sure that it's actually accessible, and we take accessibility super seriously. So that's something that we're doing on Android, and then we're gonna just move those color changes to iOS before they ship. So we'll have the opportunity to kind of learn in real time. So okay, great. I have my calendar, that's awesome. Now I'm gonna schedule a meeting. So Michael talked a little bit about scheduling Assistant. Before I start working on my meeting, I just want to bring your attention to that little calendar drop-down thing right at the top. where new event is. From there, I can really easily switch calendars. So I can switch to my personal calendar, which is blue. I can switch to my work calendar, which is green. Makes it really clear which calendar I'm going to, because they're color-coded. This switcher actually just shipped to production within the last couple weeks, partially because we screwed up and we left it in dev and forgot that we hadn't rolled it out all the way, but don't tell anybody that part. Really, it just shipped. It makes it really easy to use. But keep that in mind while I keep going with the rest of this demo. Okay, I'm gonna share one more pro tip. If you click on this little icon, it gives you a set of options. So let's say I don't really want to type a whole lot, because typing on mobile is really hard. I can just pick brunch, which is what I'm going to set up. And you can see it's already decided that brunch is at 11 o'clock and given me sort of a suggested time. So I had less typing. I'm going to say brunch to talk about project. Awesome. Okay, now let's go back to that top thing. What's missing? Anybody see it? There's no calendar switcher anymore. That's because my account is Intune protected. And now that I've started creating a calendar invite in my work account, we don't want you to accidentally go and turn that into a personal account and move that private data or the potentially confidential data into your personal account. So that option isn't there. If I'd started in my personal account, I could still switch back to work, because we don't care about moving data from personal to work. We're only protected from the company-wise out. So okay, great. I'm going to add Jordan here, and conveniently, we know who all of my favorite contacts are, so I don't even have to type. And here's one of the things that I want to share that is a learning that we got from shipping on iOS. So Michael said we shipped this on iOS first. What we didn't have was anything on this screen that really let you know what was going on. And as you can see right there near the time, there's a little guy, a little red guy with an X. And that means that this time actually doesn't work for us. So it tells me right on the screen, there's notification right there that there's something I need to do. So when I click into that, this is where I get the experience that we talked about earlier. It's super smooth. I can move over here. When there's a time that works for both of us, it turns green. When there's a time that doesn't, it turns red. I can see exactly who's busy when. So if I try to put it here, I can see that I'm busy. See the little X next to me at the bottom? But Jordan, in this case, is not. It makes it super simple. But 3 o'clock isn't really a great time for brunch. So I think I'm going to pick another day. And so when I go to the month view, I have yet another experience where I can tell the 3rd and the 4th of October are not good days. Those are days when we don't have any availability across the two of our schedules. And so I'll just look tomorrow. Let's see what's going on there. Let's see. Yeah, cool. We can have brunch at 10. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Great. So now I'm going to add a location. Let's see. Last time I was in Orlando, I really liked the Rusty Spoon. Have you guys been there? It was delicious. If you haven't gone, check it out. Okay, so we're gonna have lunch there. A map, or brunch rather. A map showed up. It works great. If I was in iOS, and actually, when Jordan gets this on his phone, he'll actually get a time to leave notification where it'll look based on traffic data, based on how far it is. Instead of giving him the normal 15-minute reminder, it's actually going to remind him when he actually needs to leave wherever he is.
And that's fully powered by Cortana.
Absolutely, and will be coming to Android in the future. And then finally, I do want to point out there's an option here to add a Skype meeting. We are currently working on Teams support as well, and so what we'll do is let you guys at the tenant level decide whether you want your folks to see a Skype meeting option or a Teams meeting option, so they don't have to choose, but you guys get the opportunity to control what they see. Great, I'm gonna send that off. And now, I do want to say one more thing about Calendar. So Calendar is great for browsing. You can find your meetings. But the reality is sometimes you have appointments or specific meetings that you know are coming up, but you don't really know when they are. So in this case, I've got a dentist appointment. And I'm just going to go ahead and search for it. And here you go. This is our new Calendar search experience.
Nice.
You can see I just went to the regular search experience. I've got my event right here as well as my mail results. I actually have a couple dentist appointments coming up, and so they're both available, but they're not in the way of all my mail. So I've got them right here. This is a work in progress on Android. It is starting soon on iOS, and we are really excited to ship this out to folks.
This is one of our top user voice requests and enterprise requests as well, so we're really excited.
Absolutely. Cool. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about contacts. So Michael already showed you the search experience for contacts, and if you press this contact screen up here, you can still get to our old browsable list of contacts. You can find the people that you need in your list. But the reality is, we expect that most people, browsing is kind of old school, and most people are really using search these days to do everything, especially in a long list. Browsing is also harder on mobile. So I can really easily find anybody in my organization, not just folks that are in my personal contacts, but also just anyone in the gal from this screen. But in this case, I'm going to go find Alan. And I just want to point out a couple of things about our contact card here. So the first one is down at the bottom, there's a delete button. And that one, we actually, before we shipped the ability to manage your contacts in Outlook, we went and talked to a lot of customers about what it is that they actually do on the go. Because again, we're not really interested in just duplicating every functionality from desktop Outlook. We really want to take what you actually do. And folks said, I meet people at conferences, I want to add them, I want to update data if somebody gives me a new thing. I don't really delete stuff when I'm on the go. It's just not what happens. Well, it turns out when you ship a feature and it includes add and edit but not delete, people actually find plenty of opportunities to have issues there. And so we are happy to have now shipped the ability to delete contacts on Android. It is almost done on iOS and should be shipping in the next very short while. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. I want to say another thing about Alan and point out one more thing. So see that little badge over there? Now, the reason contacts are so important on mobile is because actually all of your apps need them. It's not just about what's going on in Outlook, right? You want those contacts to sync to your device so that when you're getting a phone call or when you're sending a message or when you're in WhatsApp or whatever, you actually know who the people are that belong with the particular phone numbers. But we also know that people put confidential information into contact fields. And specifically, we've heard the most feedback around the notes field, where some folks in sales organizations in particular will put information about the deal that's going on, or people will put social security numbers or really confidential information there in the notes field. But there may be other things that are confidential, like the address. And in this case, as my admin has actually set it up so that when I sync my contact down to my phone, the address field will not go along with it. And you could do that for any of the fields within the contact. And so you can see when I go to edit, first of all, I get a little notification that says some fields are uneditable because they're managed by company policy. And then when I actually go and look at Alan's, this is my local version of my contact, you can see his address is missing. And that's because that never synced down to the device. That information was always protected within my set of contacts. Cool. So before we go, I do want to show one more thing. And this is going to require an even different, more devy build than my dev build. And this is our new integration with Office Lens. So as Michael said, we already had we shipped document and whiteboard support for Office Lens back a couple months ago, and we're now bringing that to iOS. So the next thing we're doing on Android is making it easier for all of those business cards that you guys probably picked up this week to be able to add them and create them as a contact, because who wants to keep these around? So when I go create, I can actually now just scan a business card. See if that works. Of course it didn't, because it's demoware. I think the lighting is not great. Here we go. All right, last try. Third time's a charm.
One more try.
Okay. I'm going to just put it down. See if that works better. No.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. Theoretically, what will happen is that that business card will actually get uploaded, or not uploaded, it'll get processed, and we'll use the Office Lens technology to actually discover the name, the address, the phone number, et cetera, and then it'll show up in your contacts so you can edit it if we got something wrong, and then you'll be able to really quickly just add it to your Outlook contacts. So we're really excited about that. If you guys want a real demo, I'm gonna make it work again, because of course it was working 5 minutes ago before the talk, and we'll be in our booth, so come by and see it. All right, Two last things. So Michael showed off a lot of stuff about Inbox, but I did want to share one pro tip because I know you guys are pros and you need your pro tips. This is an Android-only feature, but one of my favorites. When I go into the Inbox, I can press and hold, and then I can actually just scroll to multi-select.
Ooh.
And I gotta tell you, when I go to a conference and I come back to my 10,000 emails that I will get this week, I'm gonna be doing a lot of that. So, pro tip for Android. And then finally, we've been talking and demoing and stuff for a long time, so I think it's probably time to go back to the presentation. What do you think?
Yep.
All right, so in order to do that, we probably should make sure that we're not disturbed anymore. So I'm gonna open up my Do Not Disturb feature on Outlook Mobile. And here I can turn off notifications just until I decide to, but even better, because we've got that tight integration between mail and calendar, we know when your events are, we know when you're busy, and we know when you're giving a talk. So I can actually set Do Not Disturb to just not disturb me while I'm in a meeting, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Nice.
All right.
Back to
How do we
5.
go back? Okay, so I was here last Ignite, and it was a great experience. I met a ton of awesome people, and a lot of them came up and said, we love Outlook Mobile, but here are some things that we need to have. And this was really the list. Shared mailboxes, SMIME, CLP, and file picking that actually works. So we're gonna show you a little bit of early design mock-ups for these features. They are all in progress, but the designs will likely change before we actually ship them. The first one is shared mailboxes. Who here uses shared mailboxes?
Wow.
All right.
Oh.
This feature is for you.
Yes.
This is one of the features that is actually enabled by our move to the HIX architecture because it wasn't something we could support via REST before. And so we have already started the design work and the engineering work to build this on top of that new architecture. The flow will be the same as adding another account, so it should be really seamless, really easy for people to use. You'll be able to do all the things you'd expect: discover, add, shared mailboxes, and be able to read and compose. Next, SMIME. We know that SMIME is important for some of you, much as we would all love everybody to be using CLP. We know that there's some organizations where it's required. And so we are building SMIME support on Android. The automated cert delivery will come sooner than it is on iOS just because of OS limitations, but we're gonna be delivering it for both. And you'll be able to actually use our app config settings to decide whether to turn SMIME on or off, or whether to enable it for your users or not.
Okay, a couple more things. Classification, labeling, and protection. There's been a lot of breakout sessions on this, so if you want the deep dive on that, I encourage you to go look at the, I think they're probably already, I think they happened yesterday. But the key here is we want to take the guesswork out of having data protection and putting that onus on the user, we know is really complex. Everything from encryption to labeling something to applying a level of IRM. Like today we want to bring that all together under the Microsoft Information Protection umbrella and make that super simple in Outlook. And so here you're seeing a couple of screenshots of how simple that experience might be. And so we'll support, of course, the IT admins or the tenant defaults that'll be pre-populated. So if you've set a certain level of a labeling or protection based on your tenant data, that'll be pre-populated and it'll show the user as they're composing mail. We'll also, if you allow users to set that label, we'll have a simple experience right during the compose experience to allow users to do that. And then finally, file picking and sharing. I mentioned the OneDrive team is a super awesome partner with us. They are right now, and if you might have already seen, I know Jeff Teeper demoed this on yesterday and the day before in some of the keynotes. And if you've been to the OneDrive and SharePoint breakout session, they demoed this as well. They are building an all-new file picking experience for us, and that experience will be shared across other mobile apps as well. And so this is and the key thing here is when you tap one of those most recently used files, or any file from this experience, it uses the tenant default permission, which is huge. The thing that we're trying to prevent, and we know today when you share a link from the product, it's sort of unknown what the permission, like the link that you send, if the recipient or recipients will have access to that file. It's a pretty, it tends to be a broken experience, and we definitely are trying to fix that, and OneDrive is leading the charge on that. And so again, it'll use the default tenant permission, so when you send a link, it'll be almost, it'll be guaranteed that the recipients of that, as long as they're within the tenant, will have access to that file. So that's a really big experience for us. And the UI is just, it's cleaner. It brings your most recent files to the top, so you don't have to look for them. There's a lot of benefits beyond the link feature. So we're really excited about this. And this will be coming later this year. So stay tuned for that. All right, we are a few minutes left. So we won't have enough time for probably Q&A. Maybe we can huddle over there at the end. But please, at the end, right after this, we're going to be at the booth, the Outlook booth, for 2 hours. So if you have questions, and I'm sure there are questions, come see us. Come say hi. And we've actually brought with us a limited set of Outlook stickers. We've got 4 types that go awesome on your laptop. These are custom designed by our design team, so you know they are the best quality. And there's even a special edition one that is the Ignite 2018. So, if you want to be cool, you got to come and see us. But you got to tweet a pro tip. And it could be your own, too. It could be one that we talked about, or it could be your own. Tweet, maybe even mention us. You don't have to, but tweet about it and come by and show us your tweet, and you'll get a sticker. And you get to pick. We have 4 different kinds, so we're pretty excited. And then there's another, what are we talking about? An expert panel, that's right. We, along with 5 or 6 other of our Outlook peers, will be on an expert panel tomorrow. So please come by, ask us anything.
And great questions at the expert panel. We'll get prizes from Eugenie over here, so bring your best questions. We're ready for them.
Cool. And then, these are, there's just an offer for if you want the Tony Redmond's book on Office 365 for IT admins, use the code here. I want to call a shout out to Greg, who created the URL. I love you.
What is going on?
Brilliant.
iOS, really? Okay.
So the code, Outlook for iOS, is brilliant. That's how you get the first 50 people who go to this URL and use this code will get Tony's free ebook. And that's what we had for you. That's Outlook Mobile. Thank you.